a pretty lively show. We weren't able to make it over here, being here today, but but do you have any rituals that you go through to get prepared for a live show?
I try to remember tie my shoes. I don't know, do we?
We do the blood noise, fire metal right before because when we're on stage we don't have so much contact with each other, like we're doing our, our things. So
try to remember to acknowledge each other's existence on stage. Should we try? So since that is hard, we acknowledge each other.
Do like the typical sportsman thing.
1, 2, 3, team.
There you go. There you go. Hey.
That's as closest to sport as we get.
All right, so since the release of Black Waltz, I know that was a turning point for you guys, really. And without touching on the addition of the makeup, because I know that's overdone, what musically do you think changed there that really led you down a different trail?
I think the most important thing is that we had been in a rehearsal together for like 200 years in human years, and it's just, and then then after something you cannot fake and create once you're a really young musician is that groove we start sharing with each other. And once we realized we started to have that, we could write from that, and it became more song-oriented than maybe shred-oriented in a way. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah,
we stopped to care. That is also like one of the main things. Like we did a few albums, and we realized, why are we doing this? Yeah, we're doing this because we love music and for the sake of music and nothing else. And when we did, right before we did Black Waltz, me and Johannes were sitting in a bar and said, fuck it, we're done.
We're close to quit the band. We're out of the band for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Then we had a reunion party.
Hey, were there shots involved?
No, we're European, we drink beer.
Oh, okay, well, just as good in my opinion.
Did it for ourselves.
Well, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, stop asking anyone else for permission or...
Because here's one thing.
Well, definitely shows. Definitely shows.
You cannot, it's impossible to fake anything that's, true, that you really mean. You can't fake that. That comes from your heart. You can't fake it.
Exactly.
That is what made the turning point from Black Waltz, because it's honest. Honesty can never be faked.
Well, it definitely showed. It definitely changed.
No one else has to live with our music unless they want to, except for us. There are only 5 people in the world who, if something crashes and burns or whatever, there are only 5 people on this planet that also in 30 years needs to remember that song is us.
Yes.
Well, did the switch in attitude, the switch in direction, did that affect your record label on that? I mean, I'm sure...
The music became... This is the funny thing. Once we stopped caring, other people started to care more. Because the music became better.
Obviously, as you say, Black Waltz is the turning point.
Yeah.
Because it's a very, very honest album.
Yeah.
And since then, we only did honest stuff,
Well, and you're very close to a new album release, right? 13 days out. Do you have anything to tell us about that one?
It's called Feathers and Flesh. It's our first concept album.
Okay.
Which is cool.
I heard there's kind of a story that goes along throughout the songs. I'm excited to hear it.
The whole album is a fable about an owl who goes to war to stop the sun from rising. Which, of course, you can't stop the sun from rising. You cannot prevent time from moving on. And so it's very much an album about immense failure and a failure to learn.
And I heard there's a book that's coming out with it too.
Exactly.
Because the story was just too big to fit into the music.
Exactly. Hey, you did your research. You're the best one in 2 days. That's good.
Really, that was an idea that came because, you're kind of limited with booklets and a CD, And honestly, who the fuck buys CDs anyway?
Well, you had what, 100?
Is the concept book, is it tied in?
Exactly, because the whole album, the songs are basically, because it's a fable full of all these different creatures. And the songs are basically, the lyrics of the songs are dialogue and monologues from sort of what's going on in the story, and in between, and it's written like a big epic poem, 109 verse poem, tells the actual story. And that was just too much to put in a tiny little booklet and treat the words with the respect they deserve. They needed to be in a more proper book, which is also illustrated.
They filled 60 pages worth of this
Well, the
story,
reason I'm asking is I've read a couple of artists that have done things like that with the book. It's, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Was it the book that came first, or was it the content?
The story grew alongside the music. So the story was outlined while we were writing the music and lyrics. But then to actually it was part of the kind of last stretch. Once everything fell into place, and once the songs were really locked in and into place, then I started to finish up the actual writing of the poem, because on the way there were still some rewrites in the story and stuff. So there were bits and pieces here and there, but the poem was like the final touch in the end.
Wow.
Very cool.
Well, now I'm really looking forward to this.
See, we turned him. All right, so last question.
Nope.
Coming over here to the U.S., is there any food that you have come over here that you can't get back home that you really like or you find really gross?
Well, there's corn syrup in everything that can't be good. But speaking of which, I like once per tour I mix vanilla Coke and cherry Coke. That's harder to do. A store down down the corner from where I live had an American week, so then I could do it once. And it's filthy and disgusting and a flavor you can't have anywhere else, I guess. So yeah, I discovered.
And this is because you're half German, and Germans, they love to mix stuff. They always mix fun.
Yeah, we have 50-50 drinks is a German thing. Cola and Fanta in one bottle, or beer and Coke actually as well.
How about you? Any that you like or find gross?
I hate food.
You hate food?
He doesn't eat.
So no.
You drink nutrition?
He melts cheese and take it through his veins.
Okay, melts cheese,
No,
intravenous.
I don't like eating either. I think it's a waste of time. I'd rather drink like shakes that have all the nutrition in it and be done with it.
You should look into that.
I should, yeah.
Nutrition shakes, yes.
With some cotton balls in it to just, fill out.
Yes, there you go.
I want to be fat someday.
Well, that's how models do that. I don't know if that would work. Dip orange juice in cotton.
Yes. Well, see, there we go. Solved world hunger. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice meeting you. I'm really looking forward